2NURFM News for our sponsor, Cartier Jewellery. Always unique, always quality. Toronto Town Square.
It's 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Georgia Moylan with 2NURFM Hunter News. The search for missing Belmont woman Carly McBride continues, with a 2-day search being launched by police in Muswellbrook. There are new concerns the 31-year-old woman met with foul play. Brooke Eggleton from Police Headquarters says anyone with information is urged to contact police.
Police have launched a 2-day search in the Muswellbrook area as they continue investigations into the disappearance of a Belmont woman who may have been met with foul play. Carly McBride, aged 31, was last seen on Calgaroo Avenue at Muswellbrook about 2 p.m. on Tuesday the 30th of September this year. Anyone who sees Carly or believes they know her whereabouts is urged to contact police immediately, or you can contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
MP for Patterson, Bob Baldwin, has been included in Prime Minister Tony Abbott's cabinet reshuffle in an attempt to refocus the government. Baldwin has been promoted to cabinet. He'll take up the parliamentary secretary for the environment portfolio. Mr Baldwin says reforms need to stop being blocked in the Senate by the Labor government.
Well, I think the Prime Minister has announced that it will be a renewed front bench that will provide a stronger emphasis in particular areas. I think one of the underlying messages in all of this is that we need to have the Labor Party stop blocking essential reforms, and including the crossbenchers in the Senate, make sure that as a nation we can get on with delivering real reforms and outcomes to this country so we can all do better.
Newcastle's Liberal candidate for the 2015 state election has been announced as Karen Howard. The independent-turned Liberal candidate ran for the state seat in September after the resignation of former MP Tim Owen. Ms Howard says working with the community to revitalise the CBD and the implementation of the light rail system in Newcastle are prospects which she intends to work towards.
Very excited with the signing of the contract last week worth $73 million for the design and construct of the interchange, and I'm sure that the community will have very high expectations. The light rail itself is also exciting to be able to seamlessly travel through our CBD, stop off, hop on. Plenty of people are looking forward to using the light rail, and our expectations are high.
However, current Newcastle MP Tim Crackenthorpe says retaining the current rail line and decreasing Newcastle's unemployment rate will continue to be a priority in the new year.
And I want to see a lot of jobs in Newcastle with the unemployment rate nearly doubling. We also have a wonderful vision for Newcastle CBD whereby we can retain the rail line but put in an additional 6 crossings and open up the city.
As the deadline for the Boxing Day truncation approaches, there are calls to focus attention on the revitalisation of Newcastle's CBD. The urban renewal strategy, effective from 2012, has worked to boost popularity by bringing new businesses and services to the inner city. Renew Newcastle General Manager Christopher Saunders says there has been consistent growth in recent years.
If we look at where the CBD has come over the last 5 years, certainly we've observed there's a lot more activity in the city. Just in the last couple of weeks, there's been so much activity in the mall because people are coming here now for a variety of reasons. And I think that's a great step forward.
Lower socioeconomic areas in the Hunter are reaching a public housing crisis, with single-bedroom applicants waiting over 10 years for a property. Across the Hunter, one-bedroom housing makes up 51% of Department of Family and Community assets. However, that figure drops to 37% in Newcastle and only 11% in Raymond Terrace. Shadow Minister for the Hunter, Sonia Hornery, says the time of year makes the lack of housing more distressing.
These issues get worse over Christmas because this is a time for families. But what happens if you don't have a family, if you don't have accommodation, and you have to live throughout Christmas couch surfing? It's just not good enough. We really need to be catering for all types of people in all types of circumstances in the Hunter, and the government needs to realise that.
In finance, the All Ords is up 83.2 points at 54.22, and $1 Australian dollar is buying 81.46 US cents. Now with sport, Annabelle Reagan.
The Newcastle Jets are celebrating this weekend after their first win of the season over Adelaide United 2-1 at Hunter Stadium on Friday night. Scott Neville and Geronimo Newman were responsible for the winning goals, which has helped to bring the Jets up to 7 points alongside the Central Coast Mariners. The 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics are on the horizon for Maitland rugby union player Molly Gray after being named in the Australian Women's Sevens squad this weekend. Gray joins Newcastle-based Tanisha Stanton at the Australian Rugby Union contract list. She also still remains employed by the Australian Defence Force, being posted at Singleton, but will train and play rugby full-time. And a day after losing outright to Toronto, Waratah Mayfield District Cricket Club won out over Hamilton Wickham on Sunday in the upset of the season. Waratah will qualify for the T20 finals if they defeat West in their final game on January 15th. That's sport. I'm Annabelle Regan.
2NURFM news time is 2:05.